It's the way that the entire monetary system works. It's immoral. People say, well, interest rates would be higher if we were under gold. We wouldn't grow as fast. No, there would be less wealth transfer from the middle class to the ultra wealthy. The middle class has trouble keeping up with all of the inflation and so on.
Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are here at the 2025 New Orleans Investment Conference. I'm here with Mike Maloney of goldsilver.com. Mike, thank you for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, the pleasure's all on this side of the table, sir. I got to say that your channel was one of the first ones that I got into and kind of woke me up as to what was happening with the currency.
Thanks.
And yeah, the series that you put together of the Hidden Secrets of Money, probably one of the best series I've ever watched in my life. So thank you for doing that. It is a
Thank
beautiful.
you. That's a great compliment.
It's an unbelievable educational thing.
Yeah, the credit there belongs to my team: Dan Rubach, Aiden Magnus, and Lincoln Jude. 2 full-time animators, and then Dan is like the mastermind that puts it all together.
Okay. Well, you were the brains behind it, so thank you for doing that. I share it on my channel. What is your macro view of the world economy and financial market today?
Well, I used to have this friend and financial commentator that went by the pseudonym the Magambo Guru. His name was Richard Dottie, and he was absolutely the funniest man in economics. And one of his favorite things to say was, "We're freaking doomed." Now, I do believe that people can protect themselves with precious metals, and then there are other methods, and maybe cryptos will do well through this. But I do believe we're going into a big financial upheaval. And I think it's going to make the global financial crisis of 2008 look like a speed bump on the way to the main event.
Yeah. What do you see for gold right now? I mean, I think maybe some people are a little too focused on price.
Right.
Maybe give us your macro thoughts on precious metals in the gold market.
Well, a lot of people are wondering, did they miss it? Has it already peaked and it's just downhill from here? And, I never give financial advice to anybody. What I do is I try and analyze things and explain them, and then I tell people what I'm doing. Basically, until there's something called the Dow Gold ratio, which is just a measurement of the balance of the stock markets compared to the balance of gold, and it goes throughout time. And this is something that goes back to like 1900. You can create charts on this. There is the gold M2 currency supply ratio. Now, people have not heard the term currency supply before. They're used to people calling it the money supply. There is no nation. I'm the person that started like this one-man war back in 2006 or 7. I realized that there is no nation on earth that uses money. We all use currency. Aristotle was the first person to define the key attributes that something has to have to qualify as money. It's got to be a medium of exchange so that we can do business, a unit of account so that you can put a price on things, and most of all, a store of value. National fiat currencies are all debt-based. They're borrowed into existence. And when we borrow them, the principal is created, but we've promised to pay back interest. And those units, those dollars or yen or euros or British pounds, they don't exist yet.
Yeah.
And so there's always more debt in the system than there is currency to pay the debt. If we try and pay down, like, we talk about the national debt, the global debt, all of this debt, if you try and pay it off, the whole world goes into a deflationary implosion. You have a complete financial collapse. And so you can't. We are enslaved by this monetary system. I forgot the original question. I went off on a tangent.
This is good. This is kind of where I was hoping you would go with this, actually, is the debt-based system, because I get the same questions. They're like, well, we'll just pay it off. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
Maybe expand on that a little bit more of how
Okay,
it's not possible to pay it.
My example in Hidden Secrets of Money is if you borrow the first dollar into existence, and it's the only dollar that exists on the planet anywhere.
Yeah.
You've got $1, but you promise to pay back 2. That dollar plus $1's worth of interest. But you can't, if you pay this, when the debt, the currency meets the debt on the balance sheet, they annihilate each other.
Yeah, they're
So these dollars are always vanishing. The ones that you pay back vanish. The interest is what the bank or the U.S. The Federal Reserve collects, and it's the profits. But we always have to. Currency is constantly being created and destroyed and created. So we borrow it and we pay it. But we've always got to borrow more than we are paying off to keep ahead of the game, or the entire world goes into a deflationary implosion. So it is always, there's always about twice as much debt as there is currency in existence to pay the debt. And so if we try, we end up with no currency supply, it vanishes, and we still have a whole bunch of debt left that we're supposed to pay with nothing because there is no currency.
Yeah.
So it's really is an impossible situation. And we are reaching, you can see with the levels of deficit spending, and I mean, politicians don't even seem to care anymore. And every politician, every president runs on a platform, we're going to balance the budget, we're going to eliminate all of this waste, and then they get into office and they do the exact opposite. Every one of them has lied to us. And personally, I'm a little tired of it. But the only way that I can see that is proven throughout history for the past, gold has been, gold and silver have been the primary medium of exchange for the last 5,000 years, and they've been money for a little bit more than 2,500 years. When King Croesus in Lydia declared that the gold and the silver should be separated and minted into coins of equal weight. That's when they became fungible, and you could put a price of so many silver coins on a loaf of bread, so much gold on a house or whatever, and now you actually had money. Uh, uh, that money, one of the reasons it's money, and Aristotle defined these things: medium of exchange, unit of account, but most of all, a store of value. And the very math behind all of the national fiat currencies guarantees that they cannot store value. It's impossible. The currency supply always has to become more and more diluted because we've got to borrow more into existence every single day than we pay off, or we go into this deflationary collapse. And so the dollar used to be worth 1/20th of an ounce of gold. Today it's worth about 1/4000th of an ounce of gold, meaning that it's lost 99.5% of its value since the Federal Reserve became the custodian of the dollar, protecting the dollar's value.
Yeah.
They've driven it down by 99.5%. So at what point does the public wake up and stop calling this money? And so I put this in my first book. I've been on this one-man war to try and get people to use the proper terms, but there is no nation on earth that uses money. There is most likely no money in your pocket. If you've got a wallet, it's got paper IOUs in it from the Federal Reserve, and it's an IOU nothing, because if I went into the Bank of Hong Kong with their notes because it says right on the Hong Kong dollars that you get, the notes, it says that it's fully redeemable at the Bank of Hong Kong, and it gives the address. And so I went in there up to the teller window, slapped my currency down on the counter and said, I want to redeem it. And they were totally baffled. They get the manager. I mean, it was just totally insane. They had no idea what those words meant. And it's a leftover from the day when people could take their currency, their claim check, on money.
Yeah.
When on the classical gold standard, late 1800s until just after World War I, a U.S. Treasury note, United States $20 bill or $100 bill, fully backed by $20 gold coins at the Treasury.
Yeah.
And you could go into any bank and slap down your currency on the counter and ask for your money, and they would give it to you. There is a difference between currency, and money does not vanish. When we used to live in a world where people would bring in savings and deposit gold coins, and then the bank bank would pay like 4% interest, and then they would or 5%, and then they would make a loan to a business or somebody building a house at 8%, and the bank's profit was that spread, that arbitrage. But the public got these high interest rates being paid in gold. And the gold, when the money meets the debt on the balance sheet, the debt is paid off, but the money still exists. It
Yeah.
doesn't vanish.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
not the case today.
no, no. It's all today. Currency creation is all a sleight of hand trick. It's a balance sheet trick. The operative word being trick. And it's typed into existence. It's nothing but a number supply. It's not a money supply. It's a currency supply. It's an unlimited amount of numbers that they can type in. The difference between 1 and 1 trillion is 12 zeros.
Yeah. 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 And they can create it by
Yeah.
clicking a mouse.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Joseph Wang, I don't know if he's spoken here or not, but he was the head trader at the New York Fed. He's the one person in the world that's got to spend more US dollars than anybody else by typing them into, and he's written a book, Central Banking 101. Very nice guy. Worth listening to, I'll tell you that. But he actually got to spend trillions of dollars. He did all the bond purchases for quantitative easing and such.
Oh, wow.
So, right.
Okay. Well, he's responsible for me finding out about gold, which led me to you.
Oh, okay, great.
So we have him to thank for that.
Yeah.
Okay, wrapping up here, what would the world be like without the Federal Reserve and central banks? How would we have a money system?
Well, the the thing that makes gold an excellent form of money is one of the things is it's limited in supply, but the stock to flow ratio, we've been mining it for about 5,000 years. And it'll fit in a cube, I believe, 40 meters or 40 feet, I can't remember, on a side. Um, the length of a tractor trailer rig
Yeah.
on each side. And then the amount that is mined each year, the stock grows at about 1.5%, but we make babies at about the same rate.
Okay.
And so the amount of gold above ground per person remains about constant throughout the centuries. Now, if we were using gold and silver as money and didn't have all these other representations of value that can be expanded by some entity like a bank, people don't realize that about 90% of all the dollars that exist are created by the banks, not the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve creates the currency in your wallet. But the digits in your bank account are all created when you take out a loan for a car or a house or pay a credit card bill. The bank types those into existence. You owe them back plus interest. But anyway, under a world where you've got honest money instead of dishonest currency that is based on fraud, theft, and enslavement, if you've got honest money, prices would continually come down. You have to look at the time value in stuff. Humans used to spend all of our waking hours trying to gather enough food for dinner, basically, just to survive. Now, we've got big houses and cell phones and all these TVs and computers and cars, and it just goes on and on and on. And so the amount of time that you actually have to spend working to be able to eat dinner is just minuscule.
Yeah.
So basically, the real price, the amount of your time that you've got to spend accumulating these things, everything has been getting cheaper century after century after century. And there is this illusion that is caused by fiat currency that things are getting more expensive. They aren't. Otherwise, 2,000 years ago, the average person, I'm sorry, 2,000 years ago, the average person was lucky to have, one set of clothes, a set of shoes, and a decent bed to sleep in. They did not have a cell phone in their pocket and a computer and a car to drive around and access to grocery stores and an unlimited quantity of food that they can buy. So, under a hard money standard, if we never left the classical gold standard from before World War One. A single family median price home would probably cost $1,000, $1,500. You'd only be making $1,000 a year, not $500,000 a year, but you would be able to afford more. The average person would be richer and more successful because humans always get more efficient, and then we're extremely inventive. We keep on inventing technologies that make things more efficient, and they should be cheaper. The smokescreen that keeps you from perceiving where true value is this fiat currency system where they're targeting, why is the Fed targeting 2% inflation? Well, that's basically if they inflate prices by 2% each year and you're saving in US dollars, they've just taken 2% of last year's, your work, last year that you spent to accumulate your dollars, they took 2% of it from you. So it's part of your lifetime that is being taken.
Yeah.
It's highly immoral. Uh, it's based on fraud. You think you're borrowing something from the bank that the bank has. No central bank has anything. No bank has anything. They type these brand new digits into existence. It's loans that create deposits, not the other. It used to be deposits created the capital that a bank could then loan and collect interest on. And it was a very moral, honest system. Now, the bank just does this balance sheet trick. You ask for a loan, you find a house that you want to buy.
Yeah.
The house is $1.2 million. You go to the bank, you say, I found this house over here that I want to buy. It's $1.2 million. I need to borrow $1 million. If you've paid your loans in the past, your credit's good. They go, okay, well, the collateral is worth more than the loan. Sure, we'll loan you $1 million. They type $1 million into your checking account, and that is where the currency comes from.
Yeah.
Now the bank actually owns the house, not you. You've got to work for the next 30 years to buy the house from the bank.
Yeah.
And when you pay the seller, that brand new currency that did not exist a moment ago is now out in circulation and gets its purchasing power by expanding the currency supply, diluting it, and stealing a little bit of purchasing power from every unit of currency in existence. So the first part was fraud. You thought you were borrowing something from the bank. They don't have anything. The second part was theft because they stole the purchasing power from the public, and then you are going to work for the next 30 years to pay the principal and the interest on the house. You are now enslaved. Fraud, theft, and enslavement is the way that the entire monetary system works currently. It's immoral, and we would be much, people say, well, interest rates would be higher if we were under gold. We wouldn't grow as fast. No, there would be less wealth transfer from the middle class to the ultra wealthy. The middle class has trouble keeping up with all of the inflation and so on.
Yeah.
And the people that are able to heavily use credit creation get ahead, but it's at the expense of the general public.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time. Big
Thank
fan
you.
of your work. If viewers want to get a hold of you or reach you at Gold Silver, how can they do so?
Well, there's goldsilver.com. And then if you just do an internet search for Mike Maloney or The Hidden Secrets of Money, you'll find my YouTube channel. And then I've got the two best-selling books on investing in precious metals. Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver is my first one, and that's from 2008. The one that it took 4 years of my life, and I paid 2 research assistants and an editor full-time for 4 years to write this book, The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century. That book, there are 2 free chapters online, chapters 3 and 4. The book was not completely done, and I knew there was a financial crisis coming. And it was the end of 2022, and I was trying to get this book out. There were supply chain disruptions. Somebody canceled a big order, and so all this paper became available. And I was told I could either take all of this paper and print like 4 times more books than I really wanted to, or I could wait an entire year to get my book published until more paper became available. So I took it, but chapters 3 and 4 were not done yet. I still had some work to do on those. And so they are online for free. The chapter 3, if you read that chapter, the benefits will last you for the rest of your life. It's simply a primer on how to read charts, because a chart, whoever is creating the chart, if they've got an agenda, you've got to know how they can skew your perception, how charts can lie, because most charts lie. And all the differences between exponential and linear and regressions and correlations and it's fun. It's a chapter that takes 15 minutes to read. The benefits will last you for the rest of your life. Then chapter 4 is basically how currency created and how immoral the whole structure is. It's the hardest chapter in the book, so I apologize in advance if you're going to read it. But when you read it, you're really going to understand how the monetary system is set up against you. And then if you buy the book and read the rest of it, you'll at least be able to protect yourself from the way the monetary system is set up, because we really are a bunch of lords and serfs. We live in a feudal society. It's just hidden by our monetary system.
Yes, yes. Highly recommend it. And check out his series on the hidden secrets of money. I have it under the playlist on this YouTube channel. Go over there and scroll down to the hidden secrets of money, and you can find all the videos there. I highly recommend it. Mike, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in. Go to stevebartonmoney.com for more, and have a wonderful day.